Well, are you ready for some indoctrination? I'm Jeffey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, coming to you from the heartland of America and from my heart to yours. Nice to see you here tonight. We've got a very interesting little snippet and then a really great show. Now, if you've been noticing a lot of the videos that you like to watch disappearing from the channel, you got to go to jeffreydaugherty.com. The videos that are banned by YouTube are now being featured on my jeffreydaugherty.com site. So you can go over there and you can see the videos for a limited time that are banned from YouTube, or you can join the Cousins Club and get them all, but that's up to you. So here we go, cousins. I want to show you something that was sent to me on Twitter. And it blew my mind because last time, well, not last time, but the president before Donald Trump, that president was, in my humble opinion, our first gay Muslim president, married to a transsexual, but, you know, whatever. But now, if the Democrats have their way, you're going to get another opportunity. You're going to get another opportunity. You could have your first, I'm not sure if it's a clone, a robot, and some would say I'm not sure it's the first, but yeah, I could see where you're coming from with that. So let me just lower, I don't know why this had to do this, but I'll just do that. No, I won't do that. Yeah, well, I'll do that. Is that what, are we sharing the right thing there? This is just sometimes not easy, ladies and gentlemen. Where did my stuff go? Where did everything go? Where did everything go? There it is. So we'll go ahead and we'll do this. We'll take this picture and we'll put it up here. And then we'll show it to everybody. How's that sound? Better? Yeah, that'll work even better. So let's try this again. I've only been doing this 4 years. Give me some time to learn. Okay, so this is the Democrat Party nominee for president. His name is Joe Biden. There's a problem, though, ladies and gentlemen, because dude on the left really was Joe Biden. Senator Joseph Biden from, I want to say Delaware. Is it Delaware or Connecticut? But anyway, I think it's Delaware. So that's Senator Joe Biden from Delaware. Looks a little bit like Jesse Ventura without the ponytail, doesn't he? But anyway, that is Joe Biden. I don't know who this is, but it's not Joe Biden. These are not the same dude. Now, I know you get old, and I know you change, and I know you look different. But there's a couple things that don't change. And I want you all to put your attention on me for a second. Can you do your tongue like this? Can you roll your tongue? If you can, it's because you have the gene for doing it. If you can't, it's because you don't have the gene for doing it. It's genetic. It's got nothing to do with learning it. It's got nothing to do with being young, old, in between. It's just a gene. You either can or you can't. And the thing that you can do that or can't do that, another one of those things happens to be, are your earlobes attached or are they separate? That's a genetic thing. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's genetic. Doesn't matter if you're young, doesn't matter if you're old, doesn't matter if you're black, white, doesn't matter if you're cool, uptight. You are born with your ears lobes either attached or them not attached. What do you see there, ladies and gentlemen? What do you see there? One bro got some danglies. One bro got some attached. It is impossible for one bro, the same bro, to have not attached and then have attached. It's not the same dude. I'm telling you, it is physically, genetically impossible for this to be the same guy. We know this was Joe Biden. It's anybody's guess who this bro is, but he's not Joe Biden. It can't be changed. It cannot be changed. Look at those ears. Those earlobes connect. Those earlobes do not connect. Doesn't matter what you think. Doesn't matter what you feel. Doesn't matter what you believe. Doesn't matter what your mama told you. You cannot go from unattached earlobes to attached earlobes. It's just a fact. Somebody says, let's go to the chat room on this before we go into our regular dealio. What do you say? Let's see what else we got. What else we got? Uncle Joe says, I hate it when you say Uncle Joe because I had an Uncle Joe, but he was a mess too. Sorry, Joe, but you were, bro. You know. Uncle Joe is a mess. Behold a pale horse. The ears don't match. He was from Delaware. I was right. Lionel says, WTF. Artie says, that's creepy. Hugh Bryant says, how they find a lookalike. Bro, I don't know. It ain't Joe Biden. It cannot be Joe Biden, Joe. It is impossible for it to be Joe Biden. You saw the ears. It's not the same guy, period. When they make the skin suits, maybe the earlobes change. All I know is that ain't Joe freaking Biden. And another thing that I know, folks, is that most of you believe, because you've always been told, that the Bible canon was set at the Council of Nicea. I'm here tonight to tell you and to show you and to let you know whether you want to know or not, and you can take and do with the information as you like. Is it a clone? Could be a clone. The Council of Nicea had nothing to do with setting Bible canon. But Jeff, I've always been told, I know. But Jeff, everybody says, I know. But Jeff, everybody knows, I know. I know. But the Council of Nicea had nothing to do with setting Bible canon. Tracy's saying quality control failed at the clone factory. Fire inspector number 12. Or, Tracy, do they do it to see how close we keep our eyes open, huh? Do they say, look, we're going to do this. We know Joe Biden, whatever happened to him. We're going to put Joe Biden, even though he had the unattached earlobes, we're going to make the Joe bot with attached earlobes. And let's see if anybody notices. Will anybody notice that the Joe bot got attached earlobes when Joe had unattached earlobes? Well, here we are. There's your answer. And I'd like to say hello to our friends at the NSA, the CIA, and all the other snoopy agencies. Joe says I'm not much of a comedian. No, pretty boy, Philly. He wasn't invented, but we'll see. But you're on the right track. So the Council of Nicea had nothing to do with setting Bible canon. And I know people are yelling and hollering, but it's the truth anyhow. So let's take a look at this because this is important stuff. And I want you to know I got the new Mystech necklace that Halo sent me. This is the anti-cancer necklace. They found a frequency for anti-cancer. And I've got it. It's on these 2 coins. And it just so happens that this frequency of anti-cancer is one of the potential anti-5G frequencies. So go to Mystech or go to jeffreydaugherty.com and click on the Mystech logo or the Mystech tab, and you can get your Mystech for 20% off. I like it a little bit. I wear some of it. It's great stuff. It makes a big difference in my life. So, Jeff, everybody knows that the Council of Nicea was to set the canon of the Bible. That is, what books went in and what books did not go in. Bullshit. It's not true. Not true. The only problem is that is totally false. And that just goes to show you how many people have you been listening to on YouTube that say that's what the Council of Nicea is for. They're wrong, every one of them. And if they're wrong on that, How do you know that they're not wrong on everything? And if they're too sloppy, if Poppy's too sloppy to check his facts, then maybe Poppy is not too sloppy to wreck you. It's a misconception. In fact, it's discussed under the very heading misconception on Wikipedia. If you pull up the Council of Nicea, don't tell me anything about Wikipedia. It's got pretty good basic information. It's a starting point for study, not a final destination. And don't talk about people that study Wikipedia when you don't study at all. Okay? We clear here? We good? Can we move on? Now, there is no record of any discussion of the biblical canon at the Council of Nicea. There is no record of any discussion of the biblical canon at the Council of Nicea. What are Cynthia and Dyer conspiratorially speaking? What's the word I'm looking for? They're getting all conspiratorial about something. Thanks, Trace. I hate to be the one to drop that bomb. What bomb? But anyway, it doesn't matter. They're waxing conspiratorial, folks. Keep an eye on those two. The canon was already nearly complete by the time of this council. Definitive formation of the New Testament canon did not occur until 367. In 331, Constantine commissioned 50 Bibles for the Church of Constantinople. So why do they want you to think that the Council of Nicaea was to establish the Bible's canon? Because they did something else there. And they don't want you to know what really happened there. And they also don't want you to know that this was really a change in power. This was a shift in power. And we'll get to that a little bit later. In Jerome's prologue to Judith, that's a book that's in the Catholic Bible, he claims that the book of Judith, my finger was a little heavy. He claims that the book of Judith was found by the Nicene Council to have been counted among the number of the sacred scriptures. So a lot of people that don't study, they just yell, have suggested that this means that the Nicene Council did discuss what documents would number among the sacred scriptures. But the reality is that the council used Judith in some of its deliberations, and it's on record as doing so. So they knew that since the council used it, that they were considering it part of the biblical canon. Now, this is interesting to me. And it shows how smart the Romans are, and it shows how what the Romans did with the Roman Testament you call the new, with the LEMISH Testament you call the old. It just shows how well they did it. The main source of the idea that the Bible was created at the Council of Nicea seems to be Voltaire. Voltaire, the famous deist, the famous critic of Christianity. And Voltaire told a story that said that the canon of the Bible was determined by placing all of the books on a table, and the ones that didn't fall off went in, the ones that fell off didn't go in. And then there's another story that says they stacked them all up on a table, and the ones that were on top went in, and the ones that were on the bottom did not go in. Obviously, if you think about it, if you know Voltaire, if you know anything about history, the problem is nobody does. That's obviously a joke. That's obviously satire. That's obviously sarcasm. That's a guy that didn't believe in the Bible, knew what the Bible was all about, making a joke about how those bitches made the Bible up. And a lot of us were stupid enough for a lot of years to believe Voltaire's joke. It's a fictitious antidote. It's even a fictitious anecdote, even. It was taken from something called the Synodion Vetus, which was a pseudo-historical, that means not real history, account of the early church councils from AD 887. It was a parody. It was a farce. And Voltaire was making a joke. And the joke is that a lot of us bitches believed it for a long time. And the real joke is a lot of you bitches still believe it. And the funnier part is that even though somebody tells you it's not true, you bitches will still believe it. Bitches keep me in stitches. I laugh so hard, I get a stitch in my side. when they just will believe whatever they're told and will still fight against it when they hear the truth. It's crazy, folks. It's crazy. That's why Rome can write the Roman Testament that you call the New, and they can put dark humor in it. They can put dark satire in it. They can put dark sarcasm in it. And you don't see it because you've been trained ever since you were a little bitty Christian that it's all true, and you've lost the ability to think because you have begun to believe. And once you believe, not only is there a lie in the middle of every belief, and once you start to believe, there's a lie right down the middle of you. The big middle part of you is a lie. I was going to go somewhere with that, but I'm going to leave it alone. That's why you can't think anymore, because you believe. And once you become a believer, you can no longer be a student. You can no longer be objective. You can no longer be a scholar, because a believer already knows the truth. And anything they read, they're just looking for something to confirm what they already know. It's called confirmation bias. Only somebody who's give a damn is busted, who doesn't have anything to defend and just looks at information for information's sake. Only if your give a damn is busted can you then be trusted. Remember that. It'll save you a lot of time and a lot of hassle throughout your life. The canonical apocryphal books, it distinguished in the following manner. The house of God, in the house of God, the books were placed down by the holy altar, and either A, the ones that fell off didn't go in, or B, they asked for the inspired books to move to the top. And in fact, it happened. And the spurious ones on the bottom. It's clearly a joke by the deist Voltaire, who was known to be severely critical towards Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Come on, guys. If you can't see that's a joke, then I don't know if I can help you. So what was the Council of Nicea really about? It wasn't about setting the canon of the Bible. It just wasn't. What was it really about? Well, they did three main things at the Council of Nicea. First of all, they settled the Christological issue of the divine nature of God the Son. What does that mean? That means they had to decide if plastic HERU was real or fake. Was he made in China or was he made in the USA? Because he was made, he was fake. Everybody knew it. But at any point, there was this battle about the divine nature of the Son. They had to come up with the Nicene Creed or the Nicene Creed, and they had to set the date of Easter, which they'd been celebrating for over 300 years. Yeah, I don't get it either, but it shows what really went on, and we'll get into it. They had to decide the nature of the Son of God. So let me get this straight. You've supposedly been Christians for 300 years. And you don't know who HERU DISTU is yet? You haven't decided who? It's 300 years. And you don't know? It's 300 years. Do you know where your HERU DISTU is? Come on, really? How long does it take you to figure out who that guy was, even though he didn't exist? That's a point. That's a key. Keep it in mind. So they were arguing. The Arians said that HERU was created by that HERU was created by the MANOFS. That HERU was created by the MANOFS. That he didn't exist forever, that he was created. You know, only begotten son of the MANOF. So the Arians said, no, it says he's the only begotten son of the MANOF. So that means the MANOF created him. And the non-Arians said, no, you're wrong. He was eternally existent. He doesn't have beginning or end. So they were fighting about this. And evidently for 300 years. Not really, and I'll get to that in a minute. So the Arians lost that argument. And you've believed from then till now that HERU DISTU was eternally existent, without beginning, without ending, that he wasn't created by the MANOF. But if you ever think, you probably asked yourself that question, because it doesn't make any sense. But to me, the interesting thing is that Over 300 years into this thing, they're still having arguments about the thing was based on. Wow. Wow. 300 years. It's called the HERUian Church, but we still don't know who the hell HERU is. Okay, guys. Okay. Another result of the council was an agreement on when to celebrate Easter, which they'd been celebrating for over 300 years. Did they suddenly forget when Easter was? Did they suddenly forget who HERU was? No, these are clues. It doesn't add up. Something's wrong. They weren't there to figure out the Bible. They weren't there really to figure out the nature of HERU. I think they had that down. They weren't really there to find out when Easter was, because I think they had that down. Now, part of it was to separate Easter from the Jewish Passover. But do you really think after only 300 years they'd forgotten the real date? Do you really think after only 300 years they forgot who HERU was? You can believe that, but I'm not buying it because it doesn't make any sense to me. And then they came up with the Nicene Creed, and this all fits together in a perfect puzzle, and it shows you exactly what happened if you watch, look, and listen. Ooh, Elvis had a song about that. It's called Rubbernecking. I said to stop, look, and listen, baby. That's my philosophy. Yes, it is now. That was the girls. It's called rubbernecking, baby, and that's all right with me. See, that's what it's called. You got to watch, look, and listen. Do a little rubbernecking, and you'll figure this shit out. So, the Nicene Creed said, we believe in one God. We believe in one mon. No, I get my words. It's been a while since we talked these words. We believe in one mon, the Monof Almighty, maker of all things. We believe in one HERU DISTU, the son of Mon, begotten of the MANOFS. That is the essence of the MANOFS, the Mon of Mons, the light of lights, the very Mon of very Mon, begotten, not made, co-substantial with the MANOFS, by whom all things were made, both in heaven and on earth, who for us men and for our salvation came down and was incarnate and made man. He suffered. On the third day rose again, ascended into heaven. From thence he came to judge the quick and the dead. And oh yeah, by the way, and in the Holy Ghost. Hallelujah. So they made that up. They made that up. So that's the three things they did. Wasn't that great? But here's where we start to figure it out, what was really going on. And it wasn't what we just talked about. Here's what was really going on at the Council of Nicea. By creating the Nicene Creed, a precedent was established. And if you know anything about legal manners, precedent is king in court. If you can prove that the legal precedent is A and you're arguing A, then you're probably going to be okay. If you can't prove that precedent supports your position, you're going to lose. So with the creation of this Nicene Creed that we just went through, a precedent was established for local and regional councils of bishops to create statements of belief and canons of doctrinal orthodoxy, with the intent being to unify the beliefs of the whole of Christendom. Do you see what was going on here? We don't want to have separate states that get to do their own thing and say they get and do what they want. We don't really want a United States. We want the United States. We want a central federal government. That's what they were saying here. And the fact that they established and adopted a Nicene Creed says, oh, well, we can do that on this level. That means that every single council of all of the regions can establish orthodoxy dictated from the Pope, because the Pope was in charge of this meeting. The Pope called this meeting at the behest of Constantine. So what this really was, that the fact is that the Council of Nicea was to codify what the Catholic Church believed and set up a way to enforce it all the way down to the bitches at the bottom. The Council of Nicea was where the rules and regulations and operating instructions of the fear and guilt, blood magic, mind control matrix were set up. Ooh, this makes sense now. You see, by 100 AD, Rome had already written the entire Roman Testament. You call it the New Testament. Let's give a little room for those little Hebrews with their short little pencils writing and say that it took them till 120 to finish the LEMISH Testament, which you call the Old Testament. So by 120 AD, at the very, 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 very latest, probably by 70 on both ends, they had completed both the Roman Testament, which you call the New, and the LEMISH Testament, which you call the Old. It was done by 100 AD, all done. So 225 years later, they were not there to do what already been done did. They weren't. Think about it. Doesn't make sense. But what had happened from 100 AD when the Flavians were still in charge, down to 325, some shit had happened. Flavians died, had a lot of civil wars, had a lot of give and take, and in 308, and it was actually 313, Christianity was outlawed in the Roman Empire by Diocletian. Whoa. So see, Christianity had been invented by the Flavians. They adopted it as the official religion. And this is more proof to what Joseph Atwell and I and his shadow teach, that the Romans wrote the whole AHAK, which you call the B-BLE. They wrote the whole thing. And their family was the first converts to this new religion of Exianity. So all the people in charge were Exians, all of them. Isn't that weird? A new religion, supposedly of the lower class, poor, downcast, downtrodden. All of a sudden, everybody in Rome that's in charge of everything, that's all the rich people, they all are in that religion. Amazing, isn't it? And it stayed that way. And they had all the power. And then all the people that didn't want to be in that dumb religion said, hey, wait a minute. How come all the people in power got that one dumb religion? And Diocletian said, you know what? You're right. So guess what? You can't be that dumb religion anymore because y'all got all the power. And you're not allowed to have any governmental offices anymore. And you can't even run for political office. You're done. You're out here. Bye. 313, he said that. It was over. Bye-bye, Christians. Now, 12 years later, 325, Constantine's on the throne. And Constantine, a lot of them Flavians were his buddies. They're like, yo, bro, Constantine, what the hell, man? This Diocletian dude, he done messed us up. He put us on the street. He took our corners. He took our business. And here we are, got no business to do. You got to hook us up. So Constantine said, okay, you're right. We're going to make Christianity legal again. And y'all bitches have a meeting and figure out how you're going to do it. That's what the Council of Nicea was about. It was a council of the Crips and the Bloods getting together and create one gang. That's what it was. Isn't it funny, the Bloods? So basically, Flavian Christianity, 70 AD, destruction in Jerusalem, all the way down to 3:13. When Diocletian said, "Adios, amigos." Well, he didn't say adios. He was Italian, right? So what did he say? "Arrivederci, bitches." Something like that. And then comes 325. Constantine, they're Italians, right? I had to say that for Cynthia. They're Italians. You're like, oh, hey, come on. What are you going to, hey, forget about it. You guys, hey, you take your stuff again. You guys, you just go over there and figure out how you're going to do it. That's what it was. 325 was the Christian business, the Christian mafia, the fear and guilt, blood magic, mind control matrix taken back over, reasserting itself. Now that makes sense. Bible already done. They didn't forget who HERU DISTU was. They didn't forget when Easter was. But they had to come and set that Nicene Creed, which gave them the authority and set the precedent for them to go to the Pope, say, Pope, you decide what everybody believes, and then they tell everybody. And all the bitches, from the greatest bitch to the least bitch, had to get on board. That's the story of what really happened at the Council of Nicea. That's the story of what really happened. Now, do you see why they don't want you to know what really happened at the Council of Nicea? Because if you know that, you see behind the curtain and you see that it's all a farce. Nicea was the true birth of modern Christianity. Wonder why we didn't come up with a word for that. They just didn't want you to know that. They didn't forget who HERU was in 300 years. They didn't forget how to celebrate Easter. It's laughable. But what's really laughable is that we believed it for so long. Oh, wow. They forgot who HERU was after 300 years. Oh, wow. After 300 years, they forgot that he rose from the dead or forgot what day he did it on because, that's just a normal thing. It's almost as if it isn't real. It's almost as if it isn't real. Well, that's only because it's not. That's only because it's not. But I'll tell you what is real. What is real is, folks, C60 purple powered, and it turns your hair dark. It makes you not have to have reading glasses to read. It's the fountain of youth, but it also is the greatest antioxidant in the world. And if you're taking it, you don't got to worry about DOSOM, WIST, or any other kind of WIST. You're going to be all right. Go to c60purplepower.com. Use the code TCW10, and you will get a great deal on a great product. Let's go to the chat room and see what y'all got to say. Evening, cousins. Hello. We got some Uncle Joe stuff here. We got to get through the Uncle Joe stuff. Artie says that's creepy. Where'd they find a look-alike? Those are some creepy ass ears on the imposter. Everything about that imposter is creepy. Everything about that imposter. Oh, it's Joe Biden instead of Joe Biden. I got it. That's funny. I like it. Clone Wars, Petticoat Junction, Hayden, Quality Control fail, Fire Inspector 12, LMAO. Okay, great. Cynthia, hi everybody. No, that was good, Joe. When I read it, it was one of those sight jokes. I had to see it. And yeah, Joe Bot was really good. It was really good. So he was real, right? No, he wasn't real. He was fake as shit. Hi, everyone. Jeff, next time ask Halo if he's familiar with Royal Rife. I don't know what that shit is. Anyway, I guess it never mattered to me. Yeah, it mattered to me for a while. Let's see. They're passing notes in class. They are. The Jesus isn't real bomb. Boom. Well, he's not. It's simple. What proves Jesus was real? The Bible. So you got the Bible proving the guy and the Bible's real. That's like Mother Goose proving that one of those Mother Goose people was real. I can't think of Mother Goose nursery rhyme right now. So you know what I'm saying. Work with me. It's late. I'm old. Have a little mercy. It's an A and B conversation. See yourself out, Jeff. That's actually made me smile a little bit. Made me smile a little bit. Let's see. Let's see. That was your explanation, pretty boy. You can't find any proof of the life of HERU outside of the Bible. And if the book that's about you is the only thing that says you're true, then you're not. Because even HERU said, if I bear witness of myself, my witness is not true. Boom. How you like that? Using some scripture on a guy that's fake. Oh, well. Oh, well. Anyway, folks, good stuff. Thanks for asking, Pretty Boy Philly. Appreciate it. It's like grading paper. Speaking of C60 Purple Power, there's Ken. Throw them down the hall. The heaviest ones, which go the farthest, get the best grades. Boom. How about that? I like it. I like it. So turn in your homework, fold it into an airplane. Who was I watching? Oh, man. Young Pharaoh was flat laying it down tonight about the DOSOM WIST and all the connections. Dude. You got to go over and watch that. It was called Trump, proof that Trump is against vaccines or something like that. Even since he's been president, he's against vaccines. You got to go watch that video. It was, I think it's a couple hours long, and it was power packed. He put it all in there. And something somehow I'd never seen was this painting that Epstein had in his damn house. Not the one of Bill Clinton in the blue dress with the red shoes. I remember that one. But there was one of stupid W. Bush, George W. Bush, sitting on the ground with two piles of blocks that were obviously stacked up in the towers, crushed, and he's holding paper airplanes, and another paper airplane had already hit the towers, hit those towers of blocks. They know it. And they laugh at us. They laugh at us. It's easier to believe a lie than to research. That is so true. Absolutely. I believe nothing. Good for you. Then you can still learn anything. How can anyone trust anything that comes out of Rome? I agree with you, Liberty Bell, 100%. 100%. They were setting up the Roman cult trinity. Yes, both Roman Catholicism and Roman Protestantism. Good to see you, Ryan. What else we got? The devil is in the details. Seems decision was what to tell the masses the nature of HERU. Maybe. Just a one-off from the MANOFS. I like what you did with that. Scott cannot roll his tongue. And you never will be able to, Scott. It's genetic. Just like if Scott's earlobes are connected, they'll never be unconnected. Just like if Scott's earlobes are connected, they'll never be unconnected, or unconnected, they'll never be connected. You know what I mean? Why don't you stop judging me? It's genetic. Wow, guys. Wow. Amazing stuff. Does anyone know an exgen that's noted in Malachi as he says the son of righteousness, not the son? Dude, I don't know. Cynthia says, I do. Okay. That's a good one, I guess. Will the real plastic HERU please stand up? I like it. How can seminary professors sleep at night? Because they're getting paid, bro. And they got this worship and this honor and this veneration. That's why. Weren't they forced to create a story? No, they weren't forced. Not that I can see. The new did come before the old. The new was done before the old for sure. So that would make it before. Let's see what else we got. What else we got here? Italian, not Jersey. Whatever. Let's see. That's fire, Jeff. What's fire? I don't remember. What's with all the bitches? There's bitches everywhere, Cynthia. All over is bitches. You know this. Oh, Street King in the house. How about that, man? Let's see. What else we got here? Have you heard of the Vancouver Island? Man, I don't want. Okay. I didn't read all about it. Vancouver Island, huh? Well, have them call me. I did. Yeah. The Ormus I tried didn't work for me. So I'm a little jaded about Ormus, but hey, if it works, I can be swayed. Roman propaganda, absolutely. It's so great that the street Jeff is on fire tonight. Hey, I'm not very street, but I can be as street as I can be. I'm just being me, man. I'm just being me. Dyer, it's gonna make me feel bad. You hadn't seen that? No, Dyer. I said I hadn't seen it. I'm sorry. I hadn't seen it. I do a lot of work. I'm a busy guy. I got a high maintenance woman. I'm busy. That's old. Cynthia's like, what? Come on. Lay off of me, you two. Okay, what else we got? A painting. Yep, it was a painting. How do we know that the universal law thing is true? I guess that's a good question. I think you mean natural law. They get paid to whore out the vampires. Maybe. Funny how the Extians are all in on the Roman Catholic and Jesuit stuff. It is funny. I think that is the law of bullshit presented by a bitch. That was for Cynthia's. I am not with that. No. Number one, it's channeled. I don't do channeled unless I'm watching TV. And then I don't even have channels because I don't have cable. I just watch some apps. So no, I don't do channeling. So no, bye-bye, don't want to do it. Nothing against you. I'm just not into it. I know you're just informing me. I appreciate it. He's blaming you, Cynthia. Well, hey, I cannot tell a lie. All right, guys. So now you know. And next time somebody tells you that the Bible canon was set up at the Council of Nicea, you can say, no, it wasn't. You're stupid. Although I don't recommend you say that. You could. Probably not great in one-on-one conversation, and not even usually that great when you're talking on YouTube. But hey, somebody's got to call out stupid, and I'm just that guy. We'll be back again tomorrow with more podcast excellence. And if you're missing some of the videos, make sure you check jeffreydaugherty.com. That's where the banned content is. And for Tracy Dyer, our great moderator, and all the other great moderators, for the lovely Cynthia, I'm Jeffey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, saluting you for being here, seeking after truth, encouraging you to indoctrinate yourself, guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, be your own guru, and let's get busy.